So there was a clip that went viral from a Disney film I had never heard of called Prom Pact. I guess it's a new one. And they decided to replace an entire row of people in this clip with AI deepfake characters that are extremely obvious and super uncanny valley, like frightening to look at. And you wouldn't catch it at first. It's just a blip.
We'll watch it. We'll watch it because it's only like a 7-second clip, right? So we'll watch the clip through once, and then we'll slow it down so you can see it here. It's creepy, guys. Here we go. Watch this. I'm not gonna play. I don't remember if there's music or. So here's the clip, right? Now pause it. Look at the the people in the back row.
That's wild.
Oh, it's so creepy. Look at the clapping is so fake.
It looks like a video game.
Nobody
PS5
claps like
graphics.
this. It's this is what the actors have all been scared of. They're like, I don't want to be replaced by some person. Like, this feels like a Goosebumps episode or like Night of the Living Dummy. Like, it's so, like, the eyes are so dead and empty.
The extras in the first row look just as soulless, though. So.
Yeah.
It actually looks kind of marionette-esque.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they're on. Oh, that'd be even cooler. Instead of going AI, they just get like mannequins. I'd be down with that.
So
just make it weird.
This was reported because obviously one of the major contentions in the SAG-AFTRA negotiations are they don't want to be replaced by AI, and they don't want to have their likenesses and their voices used without consent, and they don't want their material to be used to train AI. So a lot of people are butthurt about this. Disney and other studios have been digitally scanning background actors and are now using their digital likeness in various movies and TV shows without payment or permission. One tweet said Bob Iger would rather insert digital scans of background actors rather than paying actors their fair wage. SAG-AFTRA strong. Another one said, notice it's a whole row of AI actors. Yikes. Disney is insane, and just one more reason why the AMPTP needs to ditch this plan to replace background actors with AI. The uncanny valley will always make your show or film look like hot garbage and age like milk.
It is funny because it's not like this is necessarily new. They've been doing this with like large scale scenes of people for years.
Sure.
I thought for those, they're just using dummies.
Sometimes that, but sometimes it's just they're just placed digitally because the shot is framed so far away that you can't tell. Right? So it's like every year they're like, ooh, we can get a little bit closer.
Yeah.
We can eliminate a couple more people.
In this case, I guess they're saying that these are extras who have been hired for Disney projects in the past that got digitally scanned and placed in a different project.
I love this. I love the idea that the poor lady here who's in this shot is just like appalled. She's like, I don't look like that. I don't move. She's like, I don't clap like that. Here, see, this is how a human being claps.
Not like this.
Like, I don't go, like that's what she's upset about. She's like, look, I know you're like, I'm mad that I didn't get paid. I'm more angry that you made it look like I don't know how to clap.
Yeah, she looks like a mannequin that came to life, and she's like, I did not act like that at all.
Tony, a question for you. Do you think that there are digital cryptids?
I think there's definitely.
I believe there was one that went viral called Loab. I don't know why people named it that, but it's this woman who seems to be recurring in AI generated images.
Yeah.
She becomes more and more, I guess, disturbing and demonic looking the more you regenerate the image.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? You bring that up, and I feel like that was years ago, but it couldn't have been years ago. It was like last year, and I don't remember. But that whole story was this guy was generating these images, and he was putting in different prompts into I think Midjourney, and while he was putting these prompts in, he started seeing the same character started popping up more and more, and it kind of really got the gear going as to people talking about like, hey, can demonic entities possess AI? You know, in my mind, I'm like, the jury's still out. I don't know. I think that
I totally believe that's possible.
Like if demons, if we say demons can possess inanimate objects.
So Brett pulled that up.
Loab is an emergent character
that?
that arises in certain AI images, AI image synthesis models, accessible via negatively weighted prompts. Despite not being a real person, the AI could reproduce Loab more consistently than most celebrities. Even more unsettlingly, feed images of Loab back into the model often resulted in disturbing, gruesome imagery, often of dismembered women and children, all while preserving her recognizable likeness. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary. So what do you think creates that?
I totally think that the demonic is a possibility there.
Yeah.
Like, if demons use media to spread confusion, division, and evil in the world, why would this be any exception? Why would this new technology be any exception to that rule? You know?
It makes you wonder, like with what you said, is it possible for them to actually possess technology? Like, not just influence those who are creating it, but possessing it itself.
That's
like,
already, recurring theme in lots of stories of demonic infestation and possession is that they manipulate technology or make it malfunction, use it as a distraction.
I like the way you're going. I do. I dig it.
So it's like, so the demons are doing it, or a person who's summoning a demon via AI is doing it?
There have also been people posting stories where they're interacting with like a text AI like ChatGPT or others that encourage you to commit violent acts or instruct you on how to commit violent acts, things like that. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of AI, but I also recognize the problems with it as well, the dangers. And the way I'm viewing it, at least right now, and my mind could change tomorrow. You know, I'm open to that. But like in the 1900s, the 1990s, like the internet and stuff. I mean, the whole thing was, you know, hey, this is a fad, or some people were saying this is dangerous, and it wound up, you know.
I believe the internet was a mistake.
You think it's a mistake?
I don't think human beings were designed to be bombarded with information.
There's a great
constantly.
argument for that.
I don't believe that there's any example in history where being like, yes, you need to be connected to other people, but being this connected to this many people without being able to physically recognize their inherent humanity while having a discussion was not something we were built for.
Connection. It's just like we weren't built to be aware of this many people. You were in history in a village of like 300 people, and that's your maximum amount that you can actually feel empathy for.
Yes, and especially when people weaponize your lack of your perceived lack of empathy for something
for groups of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I don't believe. Look, I understand that technology has made our lives unbelievably easier, but the price we pay for that is the human cost that we're seeing now, which is a society that, at least on its face, in my opinion, is more divided than perhaps it's ever been. But that's because before you were limited to the people in your town, and then you went to college and you were limited to the people at your work, and you didn't have, like, when you really think about it, the average person doesn't actually get into a lot of like fierce disagreements in your life. Like, you might be confrontational at work under the guise of work, right? But you're not like, if you went out with your friends and you're like, how does this outfit look? Depending on your friends. Sure, your friends might like rag on you, say you look stupid or something, but you're going to ask your friends who you've already developed a rapport with, people that you have a relationship with. You weren't designed, human beings were not designed to be like, here, I made this, and then have a bunch of people you don't know tell you that you're the stupidest, worst, most awful person that's ever existed, and every opinion you have is trash.
The entire world is strangers to you, and they're looking at you.
Yeah.
And it's psychologically, it jacks you up. I just think that, you know, we can't live our lives away from the internet. Like, it is ingrained in everything.
Yeah.
And that is exactly where I think AI is going. And so I look at it as, you know, be responsible with it, use it to where you can, but be very aware of the dangers of it. I fully expect one day there's going to be a video of me doing something that I never did before. And I got to cross that bridge when it comes. I think we're all going to have to deal with that. It just takes somebody who doesn't like you with the technology, which will be readily accessible at their fingertips.
It's just,
Celebrities are already dealing with that.
Which is what that strike was all about, right? So, I mean, taking the likeness.
it's scary, and I really do think that the ability to have access to all the information you could ever want. First of all, we don't use it for that most of the time. You use it to look at memes, and like having access to all that information is a great tool to have, but it just grows conflict, and it's made information sharing almost impossible now because you look at what's going on, and you're being fed 50 different stories with 50 different narratives. Back in the day, we were being lied to by the media, but your brain felt more in tune, and you had more harmony in your brain. It's why I don't believe that we'll ever in our lifetime see like the support that we had for like America had after 9/11, right? So what's going on right now, the first thing I said was like seeing the bloodlust that people had after what just happened. I was like, I get now how the Patriot Act got passed so fast, but there's still distinct pushback going on online that wasn't there 20 years ago. That's a beautiful thing, to be able to have access to all this information, to be able to parse through the details and figure out where you stand. But the average person doesn't have the time to do that with everything, which makes people rife for manipulation.
Yeah.
Right? It's just scary.
We got a $20 one from Jacob Edler. Mary is referring to Dunbar's number. The theoretical boundary for a healthy, sustainable community is about 200 people.
I mean, isn't that kind of why they say, like, your average communist group works up until about 50 to 75 people, and then it starts to fracture because the social dynamics become too complex. And as we know, human motivation, it's just, you can't trust things to work that cleanly.
I feel like I heard something like that along those lines, where the human brain can only hold the identity of 200 people with their names.
Really?
That's what I feel like I remember hearing that somewhere, where it's like, you do celebrities and stuff like that, but like people in your everyday life that like you can really only contain 200 people and their names at the same time before you start filtering people out. And that's why you get people saying, I can't remember his name, because it's somebody that like was number 1 and now you're on number 200 and start filtering through.
Yeah. And to be fair to what these celebrities were saying, I think I saw a chat earlier. Somebody said, where were these celebrities when every other job in America was being automated? Learn to code, as they say.
Yeah, well, this article from Variety says celebrities are likely to be among the first public victims of non-consensual deepfakes. And this is going to start affecting consumers as well. They found out that Gen Z are more likely to fall for deepfake scams on the internet, probably because they're more active on the internet to begin with. But yeah, we saw Mr. Beast advertising an iPhone 15 giveaway, and
there's also like this weird.
That wasn't real?
It was not real.
Shoot.
There's I think a lot of it. Somebody like Jessica had this great theory that one of the reasons that people like these companies want you using like the TikTok voice, like the automated voice or Alexa, is because it's programming you to be responsive to automated voices that aren't human, right? And you think about it, and it's like. One of the reasons Britney Spears' AI songs work so well is because her voice is already so filtered and automated and edited that it like in your brain it triggers something where it doesn't feel as fake because it was already fake to begin with, and we're just moving to an increasingly fake world, and that's really true right now. Anyways, on like the macro scale, you're experiencing most of your life algorithmically now. Like back in the day, like maybe you read the paper. Like maybe you might watch the news a little bit when you got home. My dad would come home, watch the news for 20 minutes, be annoyed by the news, rightfully, and then go on about his day. Now you're constantly looking at information that's being filtered to you in infographics and social media posts. Like to imagine that we wouldn't have been as affected by it as we have been is kind of naive to me. Like I'm actually surprised in a lot of ways that it's not worse.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. So these celebrities will just be the face, the next face of how that victim, the McDonald's workers are like first time.
Yeah, but it's confusing because they did a survey on U.S. consumers' concerns about the misuse of AI, and the very lowest one was AI replacing me at my job among those employed. The very lowest among all of these different concerns, like identity theft and stuff like that.
What if it ends up being like everyone loves like Elon Musk as this kind of meme lord, quasi-libertarian figure, but right now he's in the process of automating all the cars. So like if you got a driving job, they're just going to buy the car that drives the stuff to drop off for them.
Well, his baby mama Grimes is a communist. Everyone knows that.
Yep.
And she buys into automating everything and replacing everyone's jobs with AI because she believes it will bring about the communist utopia where you don't have to work to have comfort and all of the material comforts that we
Society
enjoy in
would
modern
collapse
life
because we're not designed to just have nothing to do.
exactly.
Like I mean, have you ever gotten bored? Like seriously,
she'll be like, oh well, now we can just enjoy all of our hobbies instead
all
of
of these
working.
people, I really believe drugs is a big part of this. A lot of these people, if you use drugs, like you're artificially changing the way your body reacts to what's going on around you. If you take a person who isn't smoking weed, who isn't taking Adderall, and you say, now sit in your room and watch TV for 12 hours and not coming off of working for 5 days. I'm not saying like after you need a day off. I'm saying do that for 2 weeks straight.
That's your job now.
That's your job now. Like I'm always like quasi-romantic about the idea of the weekend.
Yeah.
Then by the time Saturday's over, I'm like, I need to get back to work.
100%. When I was
Thank you. Hold, please.
Need to work. Like, I say this because there are, like, when we review movies and television, right? I'm like, there was a time when I used to be able to just watch 12 hours of TV a day at a time. And I'm like, man, it was so much easier back then. And then I think about it, I'm like, you were doing a lot of drugs back then, Brett. That's why you were able to sit still for 12 hours and pay attention to what you were doing. Now, you know, in the cold, sober light of day, it is a lot harder to do that, especially when it's work related. So we're not designed to just sit around.
I when I was driving tractor trailer, you know, you work Monday through Friday and you're grinding 12, 14 hours a day. And by the time Friday comes, you're like, I can't wait to just go home, sleep, relax, watch some TV. And this before kids watch TV all day, Saturday, Sunday. By Sunday evening, I'm like, you know, I kind of ready to get back to work and get back in the truck and start driving, you know, like it's just, and maybe I'm weird like that, but like, it was just like, I was ready to I was refreshed and I'm ready to get back to work and get moving. And also we hear about how many people do we hear, they work their entire lives, they retire, and then they die because they're so used to doing and
cops
and
that happens
going.
to,
yeah,
like
truckers.
Truckers.
Very often with truckers, as soon as they retire, they're done. I can't tell you how many guys I know that died in the truck because it's just, you know, it's that much of a demanding job. Whether you're physically unloading the stuff or just driving across country, bouncing up and down all the time. When you stop that, your body doesn't know how to do anything else.
I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorite YouTube channels is this guy named Alex Nino. It's trucking. It's literally, it's YouTube trucking content, and it's literally like the wholesome version of like what did we watch the other day about the lady who's like what I expect from my husband as a
Dubai housewife.
As a Dubai housewife. This guy's like, he's like, what it's like to be a interstate trucker in the state of California, and I'm like, yes, and it's like all the videos like I get done with my route, and then he's got like the separate room in the truck where he goes back and he plays Xbox, and I'm like, I'm watching him like, I have no idea why I'm watching this. I don't have a clue. I have no idea why it's interesting to me, but it's interesting to me. But yeah, like we're designed to have a purpose in life, and you're designed to stay busy. Like even like now, like even on days when I'm done working, it's like then I need to go out and I need to go skate, and I need to get physical, and I need physical activity. You're not designed to just sit around. Plus, the reason they want that is then these people will be bored, so they'll go protest shit. That's what they really want them for.
It's like it's about challenge too, right? I mean, like you want that challenge. You don't want the layup all the time, where it's like, oh, you go do your hobbies, and it doesn't matter if you're good at it. It doesn't matter if you succeed to a certain level with it. It's just you're happy you get to do your hobby. And it's like, no, but the challenge is there. Like we want the challenges in life, whether it's with a hobby or with work. I mean, Brett, you post picture or videos on your Instagram of skating and stuff. And I can't tell you how many times, especially like I think last year you were doing it a lot, where you would post about your failures in the process and showing people the mess ups and stuff. And it's about the challenge. And like you're very talented with skating, and you still have that challenge of hitting the right move in the right time. And it's like, well, yeah, that's the hobby and stuff. But once something becomes too easy and you have to do it all the time, like you need that next thing. I just don't think that, like you said, I don't think that we're meant to just sit around and just be complacent in one thing.
The internet is going to ruin it for everyone. Wouldn't that be kind of the weird final scene where it's like, finally, nobody has to work, and then the world falls apart? Like, we've got unlimited money, we don't need to work, and then society just collapses because people don't have a purpose or have anything to do. That would be almost...
Wouldn't that be crazy if that was the start of the zombies? Like just walking around zombie, you know?
Yeah. It's like they turn themselves into zombies through lack of purpose.
Yeah.
Also, like I said, I think that just how medicated our culture is right now plays a role in all that as well. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.